Okay, if you like movies and documentaries of music and rock, I will talk in this video about 6 movies and documentaries I would recommend. They are all related to music, especially to rock music. And all this happens why? Because I still want to rock. Hi, I am Rudo San. I'm drummer of the rock band Blindfold, and I want to share with you 6 movies and documentaries. If you have a band or if you like this, what it means to be in a band, it's something that I would really like to share with you, so you can see if you have the chance. If you already know them, it's okay. If you're not, try to watch them. One important thing I want to mention is that if you don't want to have a spoiler about what I'm gonna talk, don't watch this video. I'm not gonna tell everything, just enough to wake up your interest to watch the movie or the documentary. So, but if you don't want spoiler, change this video. Okay, the first one I want to recommend, it's called Twisted Fucking Sister. It's about the Twisted Sister band. This talks about the first 10 years of Twisted Sister before they were famous. It's all the period that they were famous, but only in New York, you know. So in some other places maybe they knew about the band, but they were not in all the country or all the world a success band. Even they went to England, but things really didn't work, and it was mainly because when they tried to work with the label asked them to change several things, and they didn't want to change. So it was really hard. They had a very bad luck with many things, and well, this film shows you all this story. The end of the story, of course, you know it. Finally, they reached the success. It's a film that I recommend to watch. Okay, the second recommendation is Spinal Tap from 1984. When I saw this for the first time, I didn't understand if it was really a movie or it was a documentary, it was real, it was fake. I didn't understand it. This film shows the Spinal Tap band and the first tour they do to the United States. Finally, I found out that the Spinal Tap is a real band, but it's a kind of real fake band. And the film was done considering this, but they do concerts, they have albums, but it's a group of guys that decide to make this funny rock band just to make laugh of what it means to be a rock band. Next one is Don't Stop Believing, Everyman's Journey from 2012. This is a documentary that talks about the band Journey. You know, Journey was very famous with Steve Perry as the lead singer. And then, well, Steve left the band and came another guy, also named Steve. But this guy started losing his voice. So this film talks about what happened when they don't have someone to sing in Journey. And they were so desperate trying to solve this that they start looking in YouTube, trying to find if in any place there's somebody that sings Journey songs, and if it can be good for be part of the band. And well, one night they find somebody that they say, okay, this is the man. The problem is that he is in Filipinas. So, well, there's the other part of the film, the story of Ariel Pineda. Is a Philippine guy that has a really interesting story of life. He at some moment lived in the street. He lived he made he grew up singing in the street. Finally, he had a better life, you know, but have some trouble with drugs, that kind of things. And he was just kind of reborn when he received this call from the United States asking him to do an audition to be the frontman of Journey. He couldn't believe this. He went to US and they found out that he did not sing as they expected. You have to see the film to see what happens. Of course, if you know the story, he is currently the Journey frontman, so finally he did it. And the film ends with his debut in a festival called Festival de Viña in Chile. It's when he joins Journey and realized the hard work that they do. And that shows you that it's not just to have opportunities. You have to be ready. You have to be at the level when you have those opportunities so you can take them. It's a good film that you should look. The next one is a film called Svengali. This movie is from 2013. There's another movie called with the same name that is from almost 1930, so it's not the same movie, so you be careful. There are two movies, and it seems that the other one is more famous. And what I like about this movie is that it looks it's kind of the typically story of a band, but this is from a different perspective. This is about a guy called Dixie that he comes from a little town in England and goes to London because he wants to be a manager. He wants to be a manager of a band and make that band famous. So I've never seen something like this before. And in this film you can see how he tries to do the best for the band. He tries to make the contact, talk with some clubs, get some gigs, you know, all the things that he does. And the band really behaves, they behave like as an asshole, you know. They only want to talk about beer and party, and they really don't care all the effort these guys do to try to make them successful. So, that makes me think about how many times I might have the same behavior, you know, and I don't appreciate all the effort that someone else is doing to try to make my music be heard or be known for more people. So, this is the movie. Svengali is the name, and maybe it will be hard for you to find it, but try to watch it if you can. The next one is called Anvil, the story of Anvil. And you might know, or maybe not, this Canadian band called Anvil. This is a heavy metal band that at the beginning of the 80s was one of the important bands known. They used to play with many of the bands that finally ended being very famous, but they never make it. You know, in this film you can see the film is from 2008, and you can see Lips. That's the lead singer. His name is Steve Kuldo, and Rob Rayner, the drummer. There are the two members that have been in the band all the time since the beginning, and currently they have a bass player called Chris Robertson, I believe. The thing is that the film shows them today, where they really are almost. They just give up with this, you know. They play sometimes in little clubs, but they are working in other things. They cannot live from music, and the film shows that they try to do a little tour in Europe, but really it's a kind of mess between hope and more frustration, you know. Things seems not to work. The most interesting thing I believe in this band is to see people, for example, like Lemmy from Motorhead, or Lars Ulrich from Metallica, Ian Scott from Anthrax, or Slash, talking about them, saying, hey, they were great musicians, we all copy what they did, they could be a successful band as all the other bands, but they didn't do the right things on the right moment. So it's incredible to see all these famous people telling, yeah, they were as good as all of us, but they didn't make it. It's a really emotional film. You can see these old guys that have been together since they were 14, trying to be successful and working hard, but it never worked. The end of the film shows when they are invited to Japan, and this scene is very, you have to see it, because they are very happy they are in Japan, they're going to be playing in a festival, and suddenly they realize that they will open the festival at 11 a.m. in the morning. So they say, okay, this has happened to us many times, we will go out and play even there are 5 people or no crowd at all. Well, you have to see what happens there. The good thing about this film, and what I like, because of this, Anvil was again famous, doing tours and world tours, and it seems that in the last years after this film, they really could have at least a bigger success than what they had before. So that's pretty nice. Oh, to close this list, the last thing I want to recommend is a documentary called Hired Gun from 2016. This talk about musicians, session musicians that are hired just to play or for a record or for a tour, and it's kind of cruel version of what they have to live. Many times they do the work that make other person very famous, and they receive almost no recognition at all. They receive their pay, and okay, that's okay. And even sometimes they don't receive the respectful treat of doing their work. It's another perspective of the music industry, and I recommend to watch this documentary. It's called Hired Gun from 2016. Okay, well, that's the whole list. And if you like this kind of videos, please, you can comment if you want me to review more or recommend more movies. And if you like the video, just give me a like and subscribe. Click the bell button to receive notifications if I upload a new video. And if you want to know more about my band, Blindfield, you can search for us in Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. You know, you can just Google Blindfield or Blindfield Band, and you will find songs on our videos. So I want to take advantage of this space and end, as usual, the videos presenting bands. There are many bands in the world. Probably we don't know most of them. So in this case, I want to present to you a band called Slowkiss and the song Pink Death. Hope you enjoy it. And remember, all this happens why? Because I still want to rock.